probably 3 though. You give praise, glory, and honor to the Most High Yahuwah by Yahushua HaMashiach, our Master this day. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. About verse 3. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, who oppose and exalt himself above all that is called Elohim, or that is worshipped, so that he as Elohim sit in the temple of Elohim, showing himself that he is Elohim. Remember ye not what that when I was yet with you I told you these things. Now ye know what withhold that he might be revealed in his time. So that means these things are being held back until it's the time. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who will let until he be taken out of the way. So he say only he who knows will let till he's taken out of the way, till he's removed, because the mystery of iniquity is already at work. When we look, let's go to Daniel 2 and 18, and we'll look at the Greek equivalent in Hebrew to that word mystery there, because that word will translate out the secret. So we gotta sit back and look at Daniel 2 and 18. And the Hebrew word for that is Raz. R-A-Z. 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 Daniel 2 and 18. It says that they would desire the mercies of the Elohim of Shamahim concerning this secret, that Daniel and his fellows should not perish with the rest of the wise men of Babylon. Then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the Elohim of Shamahim. And Daniel answered and said, Baruch be the name of Elohim forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. He changed the times and the seasons. He removed kings and set up kings. He give wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. Hello? What's going on? And he say, and he that revealed the deep and secret things, he know what is in the darkness, and the light dwell with him. So before we get any further, right, the Hebrew word for secret is Raz. Literally means secret, hidden truth. You got a mystery of iniquity, you got a mystery of Mashiach. Before I get all the way into the mystery of iniquity, what is the verse that we want here? Get Romans 16 and 24. Hold this Daniel chapter 2. We'll be right back. Because we know there's a mystery of iniquity. It was kept, remember they say in Deuteronomy 29:29, the secret things belong unto Yahuwah, but the things that are in the law have been revealed unto us. Or like he said in Amos, surely Yahuwah do nothing. He revealed his secret unto the prophets. So that means that Yah is not going to make a move until he give his word to his servants, and then his servants relay it to the people. All that, the Most High work in mysterious ways, and he just do stuff and he don't tell you. He don't operate like that. Before he make him move, he gonna tell you first. That was going along the lines of what I was discussing with y'all before we started. Before he turn you reprobate, he gonna warn you first. He gonna steady be telling you this, that, there, and the third before he do that. So I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I'm putting it like this here, right? Please, I want y'all to understand fully what I'm about to say. I'm not saying that the master coming back next month, 6 months, you know what I'm saying, a year, or none of that. But considering that he putting this on my heart, and another brother I know he putting it on his heart to go over this and touch this, our redemption is near. All that half-stepping, pump faking, playing, it better cease or you're going to get cut off. You know what I'm saying? It is just that simple. It's drawing near. Ain't no time for half-stepping. It ain't no time for playing. Because it's drawing closer and closer and closer. You know what I'm talking about? We just was sitting back talking about a couple weeks with the mark of the beast and what that really is and what that really means. That means this is drawing closer, it's drawing to an end. And as we going to look at this evening on one part of it, if you get turned reprobate, you will follow the beast and you will go to hell. I was talking with Troy last night, right? I was like, when I was young, about 16 years old, reading Revelation about that mark of the beast at the time, according to the information that we knew, we thinking it's a microchip. But one thing that I knew, I ain't taking that. You know what I'm saying? Because we was always looking at if it's the microchip and you bought the chip, you still got a chance to be saved. But now we knowing what the mark actually is, ain't no bucking that. Because you either going to not take it or you going to take it. And you taking it and not taking it is based on your service to Elohim before the opportunity even presents itself. You know what I'm saying? Because if you take the mark of the beast, you're done. And truth be told, before you take the mark of the beast, you already got it, to be dead honest. Romans 16:24. Well, 25. Now to him that is of power to establish you according to my preaching and the preaching of Yahushua HaMashiach, according to the revelation of the mystery or the revealing of the secret. Now remember, we already looked at 2 Thessalonians where it talk about the mystery of iniquity and already let, and the secret won't be revealed until the man of sin is revealed. That means if you know about the man of sin and you know the law, the mystery of lawlessness, you're going to see him, you're going to know him. Which was kept secret since the world began, but is now made manifest and by the scriptures of the prophets, according to the commandment of the everlasting Elohim, made known to all nations for the obedience of faith. Now I'm going to tell y'all something, right? When we look at this mystery of Mashiach and the mystery of iniquity, it's going to boil down to one. Confidence or faith or hope in the flesh or in the Ruach HaKodesh. Confidence or faith or hope in man or in Elohim. Confidence and faith in your Elohim or confidence and faith in yourself. Obedience, disobedience. Kadesh, unkadesh. And just like he said in Revelation, he that's unjust, let him be unjust still. He that is filthy, let him be filthy still. He that is righteous, let him be righteous still. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to sit back and realize a firm decision must be made. And it's got to be made before, like you can't wait. You can't sit back and be like, I got time. You know what I'm saying? That's Christian thinking. That's the biggest mistake anybody can make. The book tell you, don't say that on tomorrow because you don't know what a day going to bring. So you can't sit back and say we got time. And what I'm talking about is time with your mind frame. I ain't even talking about living or dying because that's a given. You don't know what's going to happen. But with your mind, because he say as long as your mind is hardened by sin, it'll stay like that. And he'll let it stay like that. Y'all forbid he get your brain like that. And that can happen not just from walking in sin, but from unbelief. Not really trusting and believing and hoping in Yah. Because this man say if you ain't got no faith, you can't please him. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You can't. This is why you read, if you go read Hebrews 11 and you see all the men that's mentioned in there, the reason why you had that roll call of righteous men, all of them believed, trusted, and hoped. And I mean, huh?
This right here, that October 4th, that's starting that fourth night. That's what that is?
Yeah.
So, so the third night?
Yeah, the night of the third.
Night of the third, all right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sitting here telling you, because I'm like this, because it's on my heart heavy about this, and we probably going to be dealing with this for the next 2 weeks. That's real talk. Because once we lay this down, ain't going to be no excuses. Because the man done been revealed the secret to you. Ain't going to be no excuses. Come on back to Daniel chapter 2. So I'm going to tell you something real, man. That Hebrews 11:5, something serious. Boy, that faith is what's said. You got to realize in Revelation 21:8, the first two people going in the lake are the fearful and unbelieving. Y'all don't like nobody who don't believe in it. He don't like it. You know what I'm saying? He said in the law we was children who had no faith. So we look at 2:18, right? Well, 2:19, right? He revealed, make it 2:20. Actually 21. You see how he say he changed the times and season, he removed kings, he set up king, he give wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that no understanding. See, the Most High give wisdom to the wise. What is wisdom? He give you Mashiach. He give knowledge to them that no understanding. We know the Son of Elohim has come and given us an understanding. Those who know the Son, he'll give you the knowledge of the Son to be able to reveal it to the people. But to know the Son, you got to believe on the Son. And that means you got to believe the book, which means you got to walk in the book. See, we got to get out of the mind frame of talking and not walking. You know what I'm saying? And you got to get in the mind frame of you trust this man with every ounce of your being. Come and tell you, 99.9% of Hebrews do not actually believe and trust in Yah. That's guaranteed, and it's showing their works. You know what I'm saying? It's showing people conversation. I can remember being in the street, and one of the first things I would always say to somebody when I was in the street, just to judge where their faith was at. And when this man say, take no thought for your life. And niggas be like, oh, you got to be realistic. Or you like this here. You could always tell everybody don't trust that man with every ounce of their being. Because it was a sister posted something yesterday, and it hit my mind. And I'm leading to something because I'm talking about this adversity part for a reason. Because that adversity going to come up when it come to the beast. When that adversity come up, and niggas go to shaking and folding and sinning and doubting and all that means you ain't never trust y'all from the jump street. You ain't never really believe. As I told you before, you can't lose faith. Because you can't lose something you never possessed. If you possess faith, you couldn't lose it. If you feared Jah, you couldn't lose that. He said, no man can pluck anybody out of my hand. So nobody can't lose faith. You never had it to lose. You never had it to lose. So when we sit back and we get further along in this and we see how people start turning, leave it alone. Leave it alone. And we see people start turning towards the beast and turning their back on Yah, it's because they ain't never believed. How could you turn your back on somebody if you had respect unto the reward? How could that happen? You know what I'm saying? How could that happen? If I know if I died, my works follow me, how could I turn my back on the reward? If I turn my back on the reward, it's because I never believed in the reward to begin with. What's the next verse at? 22. He say he revealed the deep and secret things and know what is in the darkness, and the light dwell with. I mean, he know what's in the darkness. So let's get the ball rolling. And Bereshit, Genesis 1:1. He say he know what's in the darkness. So you know what that means? He know what's in a man's heart. Hello? Hello?
Shalom.
Shalom. This man say he know what's in the darkness. He say that mean he know what's in your heart, because the heart is hidden. He know what's in the hearts of men. So we could turn around and we could pretend to be whatever we want to be, and we could make ourselves look however we want to look. But at the end of the day, that man know what's in our heart for real. And he know who dwell in the darkness. The wicked one dwell in the darkness, and his children dwell with him. Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, Elohim created Shamahim and the Arats. And the Arats was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Ruach of Elohim moved upon the face of the waters. And Elohim said, let there be light, and there was light. So you see that right there. If the earth was without form and void and darkness, that's when the mystery of iniquity first began. How did the mystery of iniquity first began? Let's look at Hebrews 2:14 and sit back. If he's saying let there be light, that means he was already death on the scene. That means he had to bring life from death. He's already showing you that, because when you walking in lawlessness, you walking in darkness. He say if a man walk in the darkness, he know not where he's going. If the earth is without form and void, ain't nobody could have known where they were going. That's why he had to pull light on the scene. That's why he said the people that sat in darkness saw a great light. That's why Paul says, is your ears dull of hearing? You sit back and look at it, man. You got people sit back and hear the word week in and week out. I'm talking about some hearing pure garbage. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some dudes out here teaching pure garbage. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about hot garbage. You know what I'm saying? And there's some hearing some deep, semi-decent stuff. And there's some of them hearing it hardcore, real deal Holyfield, and ain't even moved. You know what I'm saying? And ain't even moved. That's scary. Hebrews 2:14. That's scary. Well, me and Troy talking about the other day, we don't see, last night, matter of fact, we don't see it as much now. But boy, I remember you could see dudes arguing day in and day and night about the word. Going in. Hold on before we go. Corey, that second character on that rod, that was the Zayn, wasn't it? Son telling me that it was something else, though.
Yes, sir. It was Zayn.
Gotcha. Appreciate you, sir. Says Hebrews 2:14. For as much then as the children of the partakers of the flesh and blood, he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had power of death, that is the devil. So in order to defeat darkness, Mashiach became dark. This is one of the reasons why he made it go dark while the man was on the stake. Because at that time, the earth was without form and void, because the people had no form of Elohim. They were void of Elohim because they had no Ruach HaKodesh. I'm saying, and I'm going to actually go through this and show this to be plain and be clear with this, because I want y'all to see this. If he say the earth was without form and void, Just hold this Hebrew 2, because he said he had to take on flesh and blood so he could take on death to destroy him that had power over death, because that's what darkness symbolized. That means we have to sit back and show you how the mystery of iniquity has been working from the beginning. Because y'all give me the strength. I'm going to go from all the way to Genesis to all the way to Malachi in the next 2 weeks, if y'all permit, to show y'all this. Because if you go to hell, you're going to hell on your own. You won't go because you ain't heard. John chapter 7, verse 37. I guarantee you that there. You ain't going to hell because you ain't here. And y'all forbid. Why would you die, O house of Yasharal? Why? What's the purpose? Somebody give me a reason why you would go sin and damn your soul. Somebody give me a reason why you would hear the man's word and not follow it and not believe it and not trust in it. Somebody give me a tangible, upright reason why you would do that. And this is not the first time I've ever asked this type of question, but it's just to sit back to all y'all to cause you to understand the seriousness of this. Because if you don't have a love for the truth now and you have a pleasure in unrighteousness now, the man is going to let you follow the beast. And you will see that before we depart from here this evening. He is going to let you follow him. And if he let you follow him, that means you was earmarked for hell from the day you were born. Whew. I don't know about y'all. But because I know the word, and that brings tears to my eyes, at the same time, that's Yah's will, and let his will be accomplished, because he know the hearts of all men. But that don't mean that ain't saddening. Like I told y'all before, I done seen people go reprobate, man. Some of y'all ain't never seen it, so y'all don't know how serious that is. I done seen it, man. I've seen it. I've seen it. It ain't no joke. I've seen dudes go be gung-ho for the word, this, that, there, and the third, to not believing it at all and being outright blasphemers. I done seen it. I done seen it. I done seen men's minds erode. It ain't nothing to be played with, I'm telling you. This man is nothing to be played with, I'm telling you. In the last day, in that great day of the feast, Yahushua stood and cried, saying, if any man thirst, let him come unto me and drink. He that believe on me, as the scripture hath said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. But this spake he of the Ruach HaKodesh, which they that believe on him should receive. For the Ruach HaKodesh was not yet given, because Yahushua was not yet esteemed. So when we don't have the Ruach, get your Romans 8 and 10. We don't have the Ruach, we void. What are we void of? Eternal life. And then you don't have no form, because Paul told you in the same chapter of Romans, but we're not going to go read it, but it's about verse 30 or 31. He said, causing you to be conformed to the image of his son. So without the Ruach, when you was in sin, you walking in darkness, you didn't have the form of Elohim or the form of the son of Elohim, because Hashatan doesn't have his form. He doesn't possess that. That's why the master said, the lust of your father ye will do. You just sit back and look at your desires. Show who your daddy is. Think about that. And we're going to read about that. Think about that. Your desires and what you do shows who your father is. There ain't no in between on that. We got to get it in our mind. Ain't no gray area with Yahuwah. You either on the right hand side or you on the left hand side. Ain't no jumping in between. It's either or. So if you find yourself on the ledge of Satan is my daddy, man, make a change. If you find yourself on the side that Yahuwah is my daddy, stand firm on that and don't be deterred nor moved. That's why he say don't deviate from the left hand nor to the right hand. Stay in that narrow path. Don't let them push you off of that. Don't let them push you off of that. Stay on that. Stand on that. Don't be moved. Go through whatever you got to go through. You know how weak in faith we is. Job's whole family died. He lost everything he owned. That man say, y'all give if y'all take it away. Man, we be ready to fold at the little bit of adversity. Ain't none of y'all ever strived against sin, shedding your blood. Ain't none of y'all had to die not to sin. Nigga can't even resist the little bit of sin. Ain't none of us had to be like, boy, I'm finna die not to sin. Ain't none of us experienced that yet. Now you think about that. If the master resisted sin under blood, why we can't resist sin at all? Because the time coming, these people gonna want to chop your head off. The time coming, these people gonna want to kill you and lock you up because you believe on this man. It's gonna be literally, you are not gonna be able to go on the street and mention this man's name. You ain't gonna be able to speak the words out his book. If you scared now, you ain't gonna be strong then. You gotta get strong now. You got to get strong. Now, this is serious. This our life. This ain't no joke. This ain't no game, man. The time is coming. But this thing rounding up, and we finna get ready to get up out of here soon. When I say soon, don't mean 3 weeks or 3 months or 6 months. You got to know we finna get ready to get up out of here soon. Before we get up out of here, he girded our loins up before we leave. We don't even know how long the time period was he dropped them 10 plagues on Egypt before they came up out of there. He don't give you the time period of how long it took. It could have took 3-4 years before they actually left of the working of them 10 plagues. It could have took 10 years for all we know, because it don't say. But before he got them up out of there, he tried to get them people loins girded up to be ready to leave. To be prepared. And what happened when they got to the wilderness? They folded. They were sitting before they even got up out of there. Because they ain't never believed in the first place. I wasn't sitting here telling you now. Don't sit back and tell me you believe when your ancestors sat back and seen the Red Sea parted, seen all them plagues, seen the firstborn get murked, seen manna come down from Shamahin, water come up out of rock, and they still didn't believe. He killed everybody who came across him, conquered all these people land, they still ain't believe. And you gonna sit here and tell me you believe? You got to make sure your belief is firm. Because you can easily be the children of those who didn't believe. We can't go out like that. We desire better things than you for that. We are not them that draw unto perdition, but the things that pertain unto salvation. Thus we speak. We do not desire those things. So we got to sit back and look at our mind frame. What are we desiring and what are we going after? There's nothing wrong with doing things that are of this life, but you got to keep them things in perspective, man. Like real talk. Now let's sit back and look at it, right? Romans 8:10. Got to get it together, man. I'm sitting back tell you this stuff coming to me, man. Just been thinking about it, talking with the brothers about this stuff, man. This here is dead serious. 8 and 10. 8 and 9. Matter of fact, 8 and 6. Matter of fact, 8 and 5. Because this is also going to show the difference with this mystery of iniquity and the mystery of Mashiach. Because lawlessness is of the flesh. Anything that's of sin is of the flesh. And if you are the flesh, you're not of Elohim. He say that which is of the flesh is flesh, and that which of the Ruach is Ruach. He say, you say you must be born again. You got to be converted. That means you got to let the word do what it do. Excuse me. For they that are of the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the Ruach, the things of the Ruach. For to be carnally minded is death. But to be spiritually minded is life and shalom. Because the carnal mind is enmity against Elohim, for it is not subject to the law of Elohim, and neither indeed can be. So then they that are in the flesh cannot please Elohim. But ye are not in the flesh, but in the Ruach, if so be that the Ruach of Elohim dwell in you. Now, if any man have not the Ruach of Mashiach, he is none of his. So sit back and look at that. If you are without form and void, if you're void of the Ruach, that's why he said, he knoweth the darkness and the light dwell in him. In him was light, and the light was the light of men. The Ruach is considered to be light or eternal life. So you're without form and void. That's why he said, let there be light, or let there be life. So if we are void of the Ruach, then we don't belong to Elohim. We got to think about that. And now he said, in order for you to get this Ruach, to have this form and to be filled, you must believe as the scripture has said through the righteous obedience of faith. See, I had to start a little bit with the mystery of Mashiach, just a tad, before we get into this lawlessness, for you to sit back and understand. This is how you're going to be able to gird your loins of your mind up. This is how you're going to be able to put the armor on and fight. You got to actually know. You got to actually believe. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when all that issue was going up, they were like, well, how did you get this knowledge? And if you got a spirit, how do you get it? Because, nigga, I believe. Like, I really believe all the way through. I know Isaiah asked me about 2 weeks ago. He said, did you believe the first day? The first day. The first day. Like, straight up. I don't remember what day it was, but it was 7 years ago this month. First day. I was gone. I remember my homeboy say when we was out there out on the west side talking about Psalms 83, he said he looked me in my eyes and seen I understood it. He knew I was gone. And you talking to somebody who didn't believe no Bible, wasn't raised in no church, ain't never been in no church, ain't taught about no book, did 4.5 years in prison, ain't read no book, ain't taught about no book, none of that. All it took was one conversation. And all I know is the only reason why that could have been is because y'all opened my heart to it. Because it was something inside of me always was telling me I needed to know and understand this book, but that the people that were teaching it were lying. You know what I'm saying? I stopped eating pork at 16 because I read it in this book. Now, of course, I was doing all type of other things. I believed the Sabbath as soon as a dude told me at 21 years old in the jailhouse. I seen it right then. You know what I'm saying? But when it hit me, boom, he knew at that time, at 28, I was going to walk in it. He knew at 16, I wasn't going to walk in this. At 21, I wasn't going to walk in this. Not at that time. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't ready to receive that information. I wasn't ready to receive that information at the time. But when it came, I ain't sit back and say, we the people. None of that there. The first thought came to my head is, boy, this whole book is true and you are going to hell, but you got to change your life. That's what came to my head. Now you got to ask yourself, what came to your head when the word hit you? You ain't got to answer it out loud. Answer it to yourself. When the word hit you, what came to your head? And that's going to determine why you go in the direction that you're going at this time. That's going to determine why. Then you got to sit back and ask yourself, why did that thought come to my head? And then maybe you can get to sit back and see why your faith ain't where it's at, or why your service ain't where it's at. And then maybe y'all can give you the strength and the ability to be able to correct that, to get yourself where you need to be at. Because, boy, you got to have an undying faith in you. This thing supposed to burn like a fire, because your Elohim is a consuming fire. Jeremiah say, boy, this thing like a fire shut up in my bone. This thing got to burn. It's a passion. You just sit back and look at Mashiach in his passion. You got to be zealous for this. You got to be passionate for this. This got to consume your whole essence, or not, the beast going to trick you. Look at what he say in verse 11 now. He's going to verse 10, my apologies. If Mashiach be in you, the body is dead because of sin, but the Ruach is life because of righteousness. But if the Ruach of him that raised up Yahushua from the dead dwell in you, he that raised Mashiach up from the dead shall also quicken your mortal bodies by his Ruach that dwell in you. I can remember standing in my breezeway, about 3-4 of my homeboys, about 2009, and sitting there telling, because, you know, y'all gave me the ability to understand that then, that I had to get the spirit by all costs and by all means. I understood without it, I was done. When you have that form and that fullness inside of you, then what we're about to read cannot happen to you. Being void of it will cause what we're about to read to happen to you. Genesis, the 3rd chapter and the 1st verse. We will not break down the serpent this evening, or the Hebrew word for it, but y'all willing, it will come in the course of this here, because it hit my mind this afternoon while we're doing a couple things. But we're going to look at Nimrod, and we're going to look at Ramaphel. But when we look at Raz, that's the Hebrew word. It means the head or person, with the Zayin, which is the weapon or the cut off or to cut. So when we look at a mystery, that's what secret means. That means that the secret of Mashiach is going to separate, or the head person of that secret is going to cut you off. Meaning cut you off from the world, or cut you off from Elohim. All dependent. Because the mystery of iniquity going to cut you off from Elohim. That means Hashatan going to cut you off from Elohim. Or the mystery of Mashiach, that means Elohim going to cut you off from Hashatan in the world. It all depends on which way you go. Genesis chapter 3 verse 1. Because at the end of the day, it's all contingent on you. What's up, little buddy? What's up?
What's up, man?
What's up, man?
You got on my gun.
I got 15 cents and a half a bag of baby formula. And I don't know what you just put in your mouth. Genesis 3 and 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field. Remember, subtlety, that's deceit. You know what I'm saying? That's deceit. That's why Hebrews say the deceitfulness of sin. Sin is deceitful. Sin will make you think what's wrong is right. That's why he said there's a way that seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Seem right to you, but you're going to go to hell for it. He said, now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahuwah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, have Elohim said, you shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden, but the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim hath said, you shall not eat it, neither shall you touch it, lest ye die. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die. Now he just sat back and said, now we're going to go and sit back and look at the beast and show you how the beast going to tell you the same lie. This man just sat back and said, if you come hearken to my teaching, you not going to die. The same way you nigga can go commit sin and feel like you not going to die for it. See, get Ecclesiastes 8 and 11 first. Let's sit back and look at it before we go to Revelation 13. I know I was talking to Troy last night, like everybody, and we're going to work the wilderness in here because the wilderness is part of the mystery, iniquity, and all that there. But that's, for some Hebrew, that's a Hebrew rapture right there. They feel like that's going to get them up out of stuff. I had a brother tell me the other day, which we're going to work with that into this particular matter. Brother told him the great temptation that the master spoke of in Revelation chapter 3 done already happened. And if you were sinning in that time period, you going to hell, but he don't know when it happened. Do you know what I'm saying? This is why people be damned. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't really know the book. So you just go with anything. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore the hearts of sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear Elohim, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he fear not before Elohim. So one thing we don't look at is, because this man don't come see you for your sin, you think you can do some more. You not even realizing he's still coming to see you for your sin. Now, he could come see you correction-wise so you can stop sinning, or he could turn around and come see you at the end and kill you. Because this man say, I could prolong your days, but it's not going to be well with you. It's not going to be well with you. He said it's going to be well with them that fear Elohim. He said it ain't going to be well with the wicked. They days as a shadow. They don't fear Elohim. It's not going to be well with them. Now let's turn around and let's look at that in Revelation 13 and let's see. Because this man just sat back and said, you will not surely die. Now he just told him a bold-faced lie. Now watch how the beast's going to come around and tell you a bold-faced lie. Now you know why the reason why this woman believed in bold-faced lie? Because she didn't retain Elohim in her knowledge. She had a carnal mind. As we talked about a couple weeks ago, when this man revealed his word to you, he's revealing his mind to you or his thoughts. If you don't take his mind and his thoughts and make his mind your mind and his thoughts your thoughts, then you're going to have a carnal mind and you're going to go after the flesh and you're going to commit an evil work and you're going to be wicked and he's going to prolong your days and it's not going to be well with you. Now you sit back and you may consider, whoa, because who thoughts am I taking on? Who word am I listening to? He said, my sheep hear my voice and they follow me. Who you following? Because she heard the serpent's voice and followed him. Even though she heard Elohim's voice, she didn't follow him because she had a carnal mind. So we have to sit back and look at when we serve y'all, when we say we serving y'all, whose voice actually are we listening to and following? Revelation 13, but I want Revelation 14 and I want Revelation 14 and 6 before I read Revelation 13. Revelation 14 and 6. I just want 14 and 6 real fast. Listen what the man tell you. I saw another Malachim fly in the midst of Shamahim, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the Arras, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. So he had the word to give it to the people. Let's see what he say. Saying with a loud voice, fear Elohim, because I know it will go well with them who fear him. It's going to be well with them. He say, what is the whole, here the conclusion of the matter. What's the whole duty of man? Fear Elohim and keep his commandment. That's your whole duty. When we sit back and we go against the word and commit sin, we show we don't fear Elohim. We tell a nigga, I don't see you. I don't respect you. I don't care what you talking about. You can't do nothing to me. And it's crazy that we more scared to go to jail than go to hell. Because I bet you ain't going to run up on the police like that. Ain't none of y'all going to go cut the police out. I can at least say in my ignorance and my stupidity and my immaturity and my youth, I'll cut the police out like it's nothing. Because I ain't see going to jail. I'm going to get out in the morning, cracker, or I'm going to bond out, one of the two. Make it do what it do. What you going to do? Only thing you're going to try to do is try to beat me up, and you better try to hit me before you get these cuffs on, because I bet I fight. Then I'm calling my daddy. My daddy police, so we can get it in. Don't make no difference. They don't know my daddy the police. And shoot, I ain't even live with my daddy. He ain't raised me, he ain't teach me nothing. My daddy ain't teach me how to fix a flat tire, talking about how to use a tool, ride a bicycle, how to urinate and shake. My daddy ain't teach me nothing. I'm talking about absolutely nothing. But when you got a card in your back pocket, you gonna use it. He say, saying with a loud voice, fear Elohim. Hold on. Yeah, what's going on, man?
Yeah, what that address you gave me on Dunn Avenue, ain't nothing there.
Oh, I mean, shoot, theirs went by there. It should be 1034. It's a Chase Bank.
Chase Bank?
Yeah.
I ain't seen that.
Well, I appreciate it.
The number
Huh?
You got the number or you still need it?
Yeah, it's 1034 Dunn Avenue.
No, I'm saying, did you say you need the number on there?
Yeah, just text it to me.
Alright.
All right. All right, y'all.
Line is now off hold.
Say, saying with a loud voice, fear Elohim, and give esteem to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And worship him that made Shamahim and the Arats and the sea and the fountains of the waters. That's going back to the firmament. That's going all the way back to the Bereshit 1. That's going all the way back to Genesis. Hold on, y'all. Yeah. Yeah. Hello? Shalom. You know, we rolling right now. I can merge in it.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. I don't got to, they won't let me in.
Yeah, I got you.
This line is now off hold.
So, he said he got that. So the word going to be manifested to these people. So see, that's the mercy of Elohim, right? For he kill you, for he turn you reprobate, he going to warn you first. He going to warn you first now. Revelation chapter 13. 13 and 11. Come on, Elizabeth. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the Arats, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a serpent. Remember, he was more subtle than any beast of the field. So he's speaking like he's using subtlety, deceit. You just sit back and realize it, man. If you without form and void, and Elohim is not in you, that means Hashatan can use you. You know, his people get used by the adversary and don't even know that they being used. And he exercised all power of the first beast before him, and caused the Arats and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast.
Somebody needs to mute this phone.
No, that's the baby crying.
No, that's some music going
Oh.
on talking about nobody's greater.
Oh, that's definitely not it. Whose deadly wound was healed, and he do great wonders, so that he make fire come down from Shamahim on the Arats in the sight of men. And he deceived them that dwell on the Arats by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the Arats that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. Well, let's go look at Deuteronomy 13, because he said it came and worked the sign and the wonder. Let's see what your law told you supposed to do. You already been warned about this stuff. This man telling you the mystery of iniquity been working. Because people been lawless. Why you think he flooded their Arats the first time? Because of lawlessness. Keep your hand on Genesis chapter 3 and put your hand on Genesis chapter 6. Deuteronomy 13 and 1. Oh, that's going to hurt later. If there arise among you a prophet or a dreamer of dreams, and give thee a sign or a wonder, and the sign or the wonder come to pass whereof he spake unto thee, saying, let us go after other gods which thou hast not known, and let us serve them. Is that not what this man is doing? It's already been working. This man already been preparing you to warn your silly behind body before it come. Thou shalt not hearken unto the words of that prophet or that dreamer of dreams, for Yahuwah your Elohim prove you, to know whether you love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart and with all your soul. And you shall walk after Yahuwah your Elohim, and fear him, and keep his commandments, and obey his voice. You shall serve and cleave unto him. See, that's the difference, right? Whose voice you gonna follow? See, when we sit back and look at Eve in Genesis 3, the subtlety of the serpent, this man is coming speaking like a serpent. Whose voice are you going to follow? Whose mind are you going to take on? Because this man say, I sent this person out here for the explicit purpose to try you, to see if you love me or not. To see if you was going to do what I said you were going to. Because I'm going to tell you like this here, Elohim don't tempt no man with evil. He going to send somebody else and let them do it. He's not going to do it. It's stuff where you get put in situations where you don't sit back and realize y'all trying you to see if you love him or not. And if you done failed to tell, he's sitting back looking at it like, look at this nigga here. And he might give you another shot. He might not. You don't know. Why risk it? You don't know. You know what I'm saying? You got to get that Christian mind state, or that world, or what other sinners tell you, that this man owe you forgiveness, and he owe you mercy, and he owe you favor. He don't owe you that. You owe him. You know what I'm saying? He don't owe you. He laid his life down for you. You didn't lay your life down for him. You know what I'm saying? So he doesn't owe you anything. So you got to sit back and look at, you got to keep it on the straight and narrow. Because I think that's where a lot of people get it twisted at. Like he owe you. He don't owe you. How does man owe you and he got beat and he got impaled and he got hit in the side and he got spit on and he got stoned. He got called the devil and he did that for you. And what do you turn around and do? You sin. You unbelieving. This is what we turn around and do. Just like Troy got on the song, man. Y'all brought us out of Egypt. He split the Red Sea. He fed us with the bread. And this is how we gonna be? This is how we gonna be. This is how we gonna be. This is how we gonna act. This is how we gonna show forth our appreciation of a salvation so great. That's what we gonna do. Now we turn around and look at 2,000 plus years later, and he brought us out of Egypt because he brought us up out of sin. He split the Red Sea, meaning when you go into you ain't sit back and look at when you get immersed, the part of the Red Sea and the crossing of the Red Sea is symbolizing the leaving from death to life, from the cutting off from sin to righteousness. And this is how we gonna be. He gave us bread, meaning he gave us his flesh, which is the life of the world. And this is how we gonna be? Unbelieving and disobedient. This is how we gonna be.
Sit down. Get up.
This is how we gonna be. You gotta think about that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of time, man, I say stuff with an explicit call to cause you to think and commune with your own heart, because you're gonna do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do what you want to do. Quite frankly, I already know that. People gonna do what they want to do. But it's telling you this stuff for you to think about it. For you to think. See, I think a lot of times y'all think I just say stuff just to be saying it or to beat you across your head. Is to cause you to think. At the end of the day, it's to cause you to consider this your life. You know what I'm saying? I got homeboys that are dead for multitude of reasons. Ain't never heard no word. You know what I'm saying? Like really heard it. I got homeboys sitting in prison. I got homeboys smoking dope. I got homeboys still in the street. I got homeboys that get up and go to work every single day like everybody else. And a lot of them, they ain't sitting back considering where my soul gonna rest. And what am I willing to do to make sure it rests with Elohim? I'm telling you now, a reprobate mind is a dangerous, because that's a worthless mind state. You are rejected. A reprobate person is a rejected person of Elohim. That is not the direction you want to go in. So when we sit back and we look at it, right, the subtlety that he did, he told this woman she wouldn't die. Now turn around and sit back and look at the beast. Let's look at Revelation 13 again. He told this woman she wouldn't die. Matter of fact, before we even look at Revelation 13, look at Luke chapter 12, verse 5. Calm down, me lad. The food ain't went nowhere, man. 12 and 4, actually. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that they have no more that they can do. Now I ask you, gentlemen, when he say, I say unto you, my friends, who is he talking to?
Those that are followers of Mashiach.
What did he call Abraham?
His friend.
Why did he call Abraham his friend? Why did he say Abraham was his friend?
Because he had faith that he did by his faith. He showed his work. What his work showed his faith.
Absolutely. That's what he said in James chapter 2. Say Abraham believed in Yahuwah and he counted to him for righteousness. Therefore, he was called the friend of Elohim. So when he say, I say unto you, my friends, the reason why I specified that and focused on that, that's to show you he ain't talking to everybody. That's why I focused on that. He is not talking to everybody. He said, I say unto you, my friends. Hold this right here and go to Isaiah 51.
And then one more time in there with it.
51. Make sure that's the verse I want. Make sure that's what I want. It could be 52, but I gotta make sure. The reason why we gotta sit back and look at this here, the friends of Elohim will not fall for this deception. If you're not a friend of Elohim, you're gonna fall for it. And you can't be a friend of Elohim and you don't believe. Oh, my bad. I'm 10 chapters too high. We want 41. and 4. Yeshayahu 41 and 4. Who have wrought and done it and called the generation from the beginning? I, Yahuwah, the first, and with the last, I am he. The isles saw it and feared. The ends of the earth were afraid, drew near and came. They helped everyone his neighbor, and everyone said to his brother, be of good courage. So the carpenter encouraged the goldsmith, and he that smote with the hammer, him that smote the anvil, saying, it is ready for the soldering, and he fastened it with nails, that it should not move. But thou, Yasharal, art my servant, Jacob, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, thou art my servant. I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away. Fear thou not, I am with thee. Fear thou not, I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy Elohim. I will strengthen thee. Yea, I will help thee. I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. Well, we know who does the arm of Yahuwah reveal. Yahushua is his right hand. Now he said with all these things he will strengthen thee. He will uphold thee because you are the seed of his friend. Now hold this Luke 12 and come over here to James chapter 2. Going in a little bit of different direction, but it's all right. I started early. 2 and 20. James 2 and 20. But wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works when he offered Isaac his son upon the altar? See thou that how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect. And the scripture was fulfilled which saith, Abraham believed Elohim, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called the friend of Elohim. So when this man come on back to Luke 12. So when this man say, I say unto you, my friends, now we sit back and realize what did mean. If you're a friend of Elohim in the face of temptation, he is going to give you the strength to cause you to stand. If you are disobedient and unbelieving, then you're not a friend of Elohim. Therefore, you will not stand. Luke 12 and 4. That's why I paused on that. When he say, I say unto you, my friends, you need to know who he talking to. He ain't talking to everybody. That's the same way he say, I don't pray for the world. He said he pray for those that are his. You got people thinking this man pray for everybody. This man don't pray for everybody. He told Jeremiah at least 3 times, don't even pray for these people for their good. You'll have somebody when they committing sin, they tell you, pray for me, brother. Pray for you for what? My prayer ain't gonna stop you from sinning. That gotta be in your heart to stop you from sinning. I could pray for you 24/7, 365. But boy, if you ain't got no heart, only thing I can pray is y'all give you a heart for you to turn. That's the only thing you can pray for. The only reason why I'm mentioning that there is because when that time comes, y'all ain't gonna have no love for the transgressors in that time. Ain't gonna be no love. 12 and 4. And I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that they have no more that they can do. But I will forewarn you whom you shall fear. Fear him which after he have killed have power to cast thee into Sheol. Yea, I say unto you, fear him. And are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 farthings, and not one of them is forgotten before Elohim. But even the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Fear not, therefore, you are of more value than many sparrows. And I also say unto you, whosoever shall confess me before men, him shall the Son of Man also confess before the Malachim of Elohim. For he that denied me before men shall be denied before the Malachim of Elohim. Now y'all know a lot of that stuff. You just think that, huh?
Everybody saw this. Everybody saw this.
So when you turn around and you look at it, right, a lot of people just think that saying, I believe, just saying it with your mouth. But this is going to be manifested in your behavior, because your behavior is going to manifest the profession of your lips. So when this man come in Revelation 13, let's sit back and look what he's trying to get you to do now. When he worked these signs and wonders, we done already talked about this and talking about the mark of the beast, so you already should know what this is. That's why he say they profess that they know Elohim, but in works they deny him, being disobedient and abominable to every good work, reprobate. So that means any Sabbath you keep, anything that you do that's good, Yah is going to reject it. Because you in that in between. Like you can't sin and do good. You can't be hot and cold. You can't be lukewarm. You got to be hot or cold. Because when you lukewarm, he going to spit you out at mine. You can't be like, well, I'm going to do good some days, I'm going to sin some days, or I'm going to do good on one day and sin on the same. No, he's not going to take that. That means any good work you did is for nothing. It's rejected. All you got to do, Saul is your example of that. It's rejected. You can't serve this man like that. That's Cain. That's a Cain mentality. Cain thought, I'll bring the man anything, he'll take it. It don't work like that. Revelation 13 and 15.
Yeah, hurry up.
And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and the image of the beast shall both speak and cause that as many as would not worship of the image of the beast should be killed. Now, when we sit back and worship, right? Let me look up the Hebrew word for worship real fast so we can see what it means. I know a lot of y'all used to praise and worship and all that stuff you heard in the church house. But this man sat back and said that anybody who won't worship the beast shall be killed. Anybody who will go to Shemot 34 and about 10. 34 and 10. Exodus 34 and 10. The mystery of iniquity been already working, and the man been warning you of this. But we don't like to listen. You know, Yasharal, we hard-headed people. We's a hard-headed people. I'm looking at 34 and 14 for the word for worship. That's the verse that I'm going to use for it. And we got shakah. And it means to bow down. To bow down or prostrate yourself before superior in homage, before Elohim in worship, or before false God. Because I mean, to bow down basically literally means to serve. He's going to want you to bow down and serve him. Now let's see what your law tell you. Because see, if you know the book, if you already know the word, you're not going to do this. Now keep in mind, they say the Malachim in the midst of Shamahim came with the everlasting gospel to preach to the people not to do this. You can sit back and look at it. When Eve stood back and ate from that tree, when Satan came, she bowed down and worshiped. She served somebody else. She served the idol Elohim. Exodus 34 and 10. I'm in Genesis 34. That would help if I got in the right book, now wouldn't it? And I said, behold. And he said, behold, I make a covenant with you. I make a covenant before all the people. I will do marvels, such as not been done in all the Irats, nor in any nation, and all the people among which thou art shall see the work of Yahuwah. For it is a terrible thing that I will do with thee. You see how he gonna imitate the man by doing a wonder which most people ain't never seen in the earth? And they gonna sit back and he gonna make a covenant with you because he said you got to take this mark after he worked these signs and these wonders, and he do this marvelous, terrible just meaning awesome. He do this awesome thing in the midst of the people, and the people gonna turn around and follow. They gonna serve him. He say, observe thou that with that which I command thee this day, behold, I drive out before thee the Amorite and the Canaanite and the Hittite and the Perizzite and the Hivite and the Jebusite. Take heed to thyself. Take heed to thyself, that lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land whither thou go, lest it be for a snare in the midst of thee. He warning you. Because this man is coming up to get you to make a covenant with him, and he telling you better take heed to yourself. The mystery of lawlessness already been working from the beginning, and he trying to sit back and warn you. Because that's what Eve did. She made a covenant with death. She made an agreement with death when she listened. See, Paul told you something in Galatians chapter 1, right? He say, if there be any other Malachim, any other man, preach a gospel which we have not preached, he say, let that man be accursed. We know how Shaitan was accursed. Let that man be damned. So if you come up, if somebody come up and they telling you, yeah, man, you can go contrary to the word, or you can do this, or you can do that, or they preaching another Yahushua whom we have not preached, that means they teaching you to go against the word. And that doesn't necessarily mean that somebody got to be opening up the book to teach you to go against the word. Bringing another God, because Hashatan Eve didn't have no book opened up. She got an instruction from Elohim not to do this. He came with another teaching, another mind, another thought. So that's what got her taken out and got him taken out. So you realize that this man said, if you come and you get somebody to do something that's out the way, he said, I'm going to damn you. And I'm going to damn the other person for listening. You ain't supposed to have enough sense to know the difference between the two gospels, what's being preached. Hamashiach coming to bring you to the Father. The beast and the false prophet trying to bring you to the devil. One trying to bring you to life, one trying to bring you to death. One trying to bring you to obedience, one trying to bring you to rebellion. Who you going to listen to? Who you going to follow? That's why he told you to take heed to yourself. Verse 13, but ye shall destroy their altars, break their images, and cut down their groves. For thou shalt not worship no other God, for Yahuwah, whose name is jealous, is a jealous Elohim. Lest thou make a covenant with the inhabitants of the land, and they shall go a-whoring after their gods, and do sacrifices unto their gods, and one call thee, and thou eat of his sacrifice. And thou take of their daughters unto thy sons, and their daughters go a-whoring after their gods, and make thy sons go a-whoring after their gods. Thou shalt not make me no molten god. And what did this nigga turn around and do but go on and make an image? So let's look at why he tell you don't make no molten god in Exodus 32. He's just not satisfied. He said you need to feed him a little faster, man. Exodus 32 and 1. After Exodus 32 and 1, Romans 1. Because at the end of the day, we going to run all this down of so on forth, this separation. We going to hit Nimrod. We going to hit a Ramaphel. And we going to make it quick. And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, the people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods which shall go before us. For as this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Mizraim, we walk not what has become of him. Now, you know, in Luke chapter 12 or 13, it might be actually 12. You know, the master spoke about this. See, they sat back and looked at Moses ain't came back yet. We might as well go a-sinning. Now, they had already been given an instruction not to make no idols or nor anything of the image of man, beast, and shamahim and their rats or nothing. But see, that's the mentality that we have as a people now. Oh, he ain't came back yet, so I'm going to go ahead and do this, 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 and this, which means you had no faith, which means you had no patience. Because if you trusted in him, you would have waited for him. The book say, blessed are him that wait. Wait on Yahuwah. Wait on Yahuwah. But you know what we like to do? I'm going to go now. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go now. I'm going to do what I want now. Instead of just stopping and waiting and let y'all manifest it, we push it and press it and go. Then you push it and press it and blow something up and make a mess out of the whole deal because you move too fast. You know what I'm saying? When you deal with Elohim, you got to have patience. You just can't jump up and go. When you jump up and go, you going to crash. He said he is the Elohim of patience and of consolation. So that means when you wait on him to reveal his will and what he wants you to do, then you can get the best out of everything. When you go at your pace, you're going to smash. You look at, it took y'all 40 years to take us out the wilderness before we got in the land. He couldn't bring us straight in the land. He couldn't bring us straight in there. You see what happened when he waited 40 years to bring us in there. So imagine how bad it would have been if he would have did it in the first 6 months. Because we don't have no patience. That's one of the fruits of the Ruach, to have some patience. Long suffering, you got to know how to wait. Look what happened when they didn't wait. And Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, or of your sons and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. And the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool. And he made it a molten calf. And they said, these be thy gods, O Yasharal, which brought thee up out of the land of Mizraim. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it. And Aaron made a proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to Yahuwah. Now, we were talking about this the other day. Now, we know the olive, which they would understand that to be the first, and the representation of it is an ox, or an oxen, or a cattle. This is why they made that. And they say, this is your God that brought you up out of here. Now look at Romans 1 and 20 and look what they did. They worship the creation more than the creator. Now you got to turn around and look at it. When you go serve the beast, and the ox is a beast, and the serpent was more subtle than any beast or a carnal representation, you end up serving man or creation more than the creator. So the mystery of lawlessness has been working. We have to know how to make the determination between the two. Boy, it's so easy to slip off into it. Easier than you can imagine. One and 20. Actually 1 and 21. He said, because that when they knew Elohim, they esteemed him not as Elohim. So you sit back and look at it. When you knew the word, you didn't esteem as Elohim. You didn't do it. He said, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. He say he knows what dwells in the darkness. Hold this right here and go to Deuteronomy 29 and 17. He say because they foolish heart, because he said they say they became vain or worthless. We already know that's worthless words in Hebrew for the word vain. Worthless. That's all Hashatan coming to speak is worthless words. That's all the beasts coming to speak is worthless words. Words that don't profit. Carnal mind, fleshliness, worldliness, that stuff don't got no gain or no profit. The end of it is death. 29 and 17. 16. Say, for ye know how we have dwelt in the land of Mizraim, and how we came through the nations which ye passed by, and you have seen their abominations and their idols, wood and stone, silver and gold, which are among them. Lest there should be among you any man or woman or family or tribe whose heart turn away this day from Yahuwah Elohim to go and serve the gods of these nations, lest there should be among you a root that bear gall and wormwood. And it come to pass, when he hear the words of this curse, that he bless himself in his heart, saying, I shall have shalom, though I walk in the imagination of my heart, to add drunkenness to thirst. So when you hear this man say he gonna damn you and kill you if you walk contrary to his word, but you bless yourself in your heart and say, y'all gonna bless me, and you know the worst part people do? Know they sinning, know they living wrong, and say y'all blessed them. You know what I'm saying? Boy, thank you, y'all. You blessed me with this right here. You blessed yourself in your own heart because you heard the curse and your heart's turning away and you following the vain imagination of your own heart. That's why I say the foolishness of their vain heart, they understand it end up being darkened. Meaning being darkened meaning ain't no light in you, which means that ruach, which we read in Romans 8, is not in you, which means you're without form and you're void. We don't want that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't what you want. He says, verse 20, and Yahuwah will not spare him, but the anger of Yahuwah and his jealousy shall smoke against that man. And all the curses that are written in this book shall lie upon him, and Yahuwah shall blot out his name from under Shamahim. And Yahuwah shall separate him unto evil out of all the tribes of Yasharal, according to all the curses of the covenant that are written in the book of this law. Now you see how that go right back what we talking about in Genesis, separating the darkness from the light. Do you sit back, you see how he say, I'm going to separate you from the tribes of Yasharal? Because this also talking about the wheat and the tares, but I'm going to wait for the wheat and the tares. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a seed sold by the devil, and you got a seed sold by the son of Elohim. You know what I'm talking about? You got two sets of children, and they grow up together. So you could be looking at a wheat, and a wheat can be looking at a tare, and you don't know you looking at a tare unless you know the word, because then the actions show. That's not, he wasn't sown by the son of Elohim. You were sown by the wicked one. You understand what I'm saying? Romans chapter 1. I'm telling you, man, the man give us what to look for. We supposed to know. You supposed to know better. If you hear the word and you don't do better, that's ridiculous. Ain't no reason for that. There's no reason for that. To be dead honest, the only reason you hear the word and don't do better is because you don't believe it and you don't want to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, that's what that fruit of that action is telling you. We got to sit back and realize he don't care what we saying in our heart, because our heart say differently when we do differently. If we want what's in our heart to say what we saying out our mouth or what's in our mind, and we want Yahuwah to accept that, then it has to be manifested with the word. You know what I'm saying? Then he can sit back and be like, okay, yeah, they believe in me. They trust in me. They fear me. They follow me. But when we do contrary to it, it shows different, which is going to open us up to do just what he said. You're going to hear these God, you're going to see ththese people worshiping these false idols, and you're going to follow after. Romans 1 and 21. Because they that when they knew Elohim, they esteemed him not as Elohim, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools. That's just what he's telling you in Deuteronomy 29. And they changed the esteem of the uncorruptible Elohim into an image made like to corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore Elohim also gave them up to uncleanliness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own bodies between themselves, who changed the truth of Elohim into a lie, and worshiped and served the creature more than the creator, who is Baruch forever, so be it. You see how that happens? So because you want to serve your own desires, and you want to serve the creature more than the creator, he gonna turn you over to that. Those same people who worship that golden calf, you know what happened to them, right? They got killed, didn't they? Let's go back to Revelation 13. What we're dealing with on this first aspect is just the idolatry. And when we get done with it in a few moments, what it's going to be really dealing with is if you serve your own desires and your own lust, then you are an idolater. You know what I'm saying? Because you're going to be doing just what Hashatan wanted you to do, which is do what you want to do. And in the process of him telling you that, he's telling you that you won't die. He's telling you if you commit sin, you won't die. That's what he told Eve. You won't die. And guess what the beast's going to sit back and tell you? If you don't take this mark, I'm going to kill you. So he going to cause you to be fearful of dying a man versus Elohim wrath coming on you. Because we're going to read what Elohim say he going to do to you if you take it. Revelation 13. 13 and 15 yet again. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many should not, as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. The same way that Yah said if you worship idols you should be killed, he gonna turn around and say if you don't worship me, I'm gonna kill you. And that no man might buy or sell, save that he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And that's how this man gonna get people. Because if you ain't able to buy, you know what niggas gonna be sitting back looking at? Well, I ain't gonna be able to buy no food. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be able to make no money. I ain't gonna be able to do this. I ain't gonna be able to do that. That's how he gonna get you. Come over here and look at Genesis chapter 3, verse 14. I gotta still get around here to Nimrod name. While we sitting back thinking about that, get you Genesis chapter 14 and verse 1 with that Genesis 3 and 14. And Genesis 10 and 5. But Genesis 10 and 5 before Genesis 14. Genesis 10 and 5 and then Genesis 14 and 1. Genesis 10 and 5 and Genesis 14 and 1. But we finna swing and get Revelation 3, Genesis 3 and 14. You hold Genesis 10 and 5 and Genesis 14 and 1. Three and 14. Now we already know what done happened. Eve done partook. So we know what happened. He told her she wouldn't die now. Let's see what the Most High say. And Yahuwah Elohim said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. When you looking at eating dust, mean your name ain't written in Shamahim. You know what I'm saying? You just sit back and look at it, right? Mashiach is the bread of life that come down from Shamahim. He rained down bread from Shamahim. And you can be able to eat of that because that's eternal. 3 and 15. I will put enmity between thee and the woman, and between thy seed and her seed, and it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Enmity mean hatred. That means the sons of Elohim and the sons of the devil can never meet in agreement. A Kadeshim cannot become one with a sinner. It won't happen. Because they'll never meet in agreement. There'll always be a hatred between the two. Because they do not meet in agreement with behavior. So you just sit back and look at whose seed or whose progeny do you come from. Because we talking about the noon. Now when we see seed, we looking at the noon. You know what I'm talking about? Whose seed you come from? Whose seed do you come from? Because he say the woman's seed and the serpent seed. The woman's seed is Yasharal. Whose seed you come from? You know what I'm talking about? You just sit back and look at it, man. It's just being dead real. All laws say A Kadeshim and a sinner will hate each other. He already read that the carnal mind is enmity against the law of Elohim. So it's already been set up from the beginning. These two things can't meet the agreement. This is why the beast say, I'm going to kill everybody who don't worship this. You know the only people who ain't going to worship it is those who serve the living Elohim. They the only ones ain't going to worship it. Why would an idolater and a sinner in the world not worship it? You know what I'm talking about? When we know from Daniel 11, he say he going to sit down and teach them that forsake the Kadesh covenant. Those who turn their back on the word, he going to teach them and they going to listen. And if you already turning your back on the word now, you going to be taught by him, you going to take his mark and you going to hell. It's just that simple. If you don't believe, follow, and obey now, you not going to do it then. Don't deceive yourself into believing that, because we're going to go in the word and show you you're not going to do it. 1 Kings chapter 19 and 10. Just keep your hands on Genesis chapter 10 and Genesis 14. We're going to get to it because we're looking at the names of Nimrod and the name of Meramethel and how Shaitan fit into this here, showing you that the mystery of iniquity had already been working, tying it to the beast so you can see where that when this man be revealed, you would already peep the game. You're going to already peep the game. 1 Kings 19 and 10. And he said, I've been very jealous for Yahuwah Elohim of hosts, for the children of Yasharal have forsaken thine covenant, thrown down thine altars. Because you're going to deny the man. That's what they were doing. And I ain't got all the way into this here yet, because I'm going to work my way back into this. Y'all willing, we got time to go through it. Because that's what Jezebel came to do. Oh, weak Ahab, letting a woman rule him and run him. You know what I'm talking about? The woman he know the law, and he messing with a woman who going with sin, an idolater. This another example how evil communications corrupt good manners. You know what I'm talking about? Because you ain't even supposed to marry this Hamite woman, because she don't serve our Elohim. She serve other gods. She served Baal, and you were serving Baal right along with her, seducing the children of Yasharal to serve her, Baal right along with her. She was killing the prophets of Elohim, persecuting the prophets of Elohim. All of this, and it caused us to go against the word, just like the beast gonna be doing the same thing. Ain't nowhere in the world you love Elohim and you love sinners, because they hate your God. How can you love? The book saying in 1 Chronicles 19 and 2, if I'm not mistaken, how can you love them that hate Yahuwah? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, how can you love them that hate Yahuwah? David said in Psalms 139, he said, I hurt you with a perfect hatred. He said, your enemies are my enemies. You know what I'm saying? And when we look at that hatred, it just means I don't choose you. He said, my eyes are upon them that walk in a perfect way. He said, only them will dwell in the land. He said, I will get the wicked out my land early, quickly, soon. We already looking at everything we've been looking at is talking about one thing, right? A separation, right? Mystery of Mashiach, mystery of iniquity, separation. I can't sit back and say, I love Yahuwah, but I hang with sinners day in and day out. Because you know what's going to happen to me? I'm going to sin eventually. You know what I'm talking about? Because they going to corrode you. The man has warned you, he done told you. So if you don't gird your mind up with the word, when these sinners come, when this beast come, and this false prophet come, you going to follow these niggas because you already sinning. You already like them. So he's not going to appall you. You're not going to be disgusted with it because you already serving your belly. You just like your daddy, you serve your belly. We got to think about that.
That's like how you saying that you start understanding when you say hatred, understanding not choosing.
Yes, sir.
You know, like when those situations come, like for instance, one of my uncles texted me the other day. You want me to take your mom for Mother's Day for $100? I'm like,
no.
I think not. Like,
I heard that.
They tried to hit me on the street, but I mean, just something as simple as that.
Yes, sir.
People say, oh, wait, I'm not doing it. He gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Not choosing those ways, and people are gonna try you.
They gonna try you. Nigga ain't got but one time to try me with sin and you done. You know what I'm saying? I can remember, man, dealing with this woman. She used to just throw little subtle stuff. She wanted me to try to influence me to sell dope again, do little stuff to get me. But see, the key thing is try to sleep with her and do this and do that. But what she knew I wasn't gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? I remember that woman looked me in the face. She said, you a tough cookie. She could not get me to go against the word, and it frustrated the daylights out of her. You know what I'm saying? Because she knew she could get the average man gonna fall weak for some vagina. You know what I'm talking about? And this is a woman who used to using her vagina to get what she want. So when she ran across me, which she had already knew me anyway, you know what I'm talking about? She knew I can't get this nigga to do this. Because I'm not going to hell for you. You know what I'm saying? Are you crazy? And I noticed that y'all kept me away from that woman quite a bit. You know what I'm saying? Lil Muffin know that because she witnessed it. You know what I'm talking about? He didn't let me be around that woman too much. You know what I'm saying? Even when I wanted to come around to the school with the word, because she going to corrupt me. No matter how strong you think you are, if a nigga sinning and living contrary, they going to corrupt you if you around them on a regular basis. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And I had enough wisdom to know, and this is 2011 I'm talking about, y'all. I ain't talking about recently. I mean, I was in the word like 2 years then, a year and a half. But I had enough wisdom to know if I stay around, I might have seen this woman maybe once, twice a week sometimes. Sometimes I could go weeks without seeing her. Sometimes I could go weeks without talking to her. You know what I'm saying? Because he already known if I was talking to this nigga every day. See, I ain't had no cell phone back then, so I was working the payphone. So a nigga don't know when I'm going to call him, and they don't know where I was going to call him from. You know what I'm talking about? Like, if I was talking to her every day and around her every day, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now because I'd have been fell off because I would have fell victim to that. I either would have had to choose her or choose y'all. I wouldn't have been able to have both, though. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, he just go ahead and call that, get on away from him because I can't let you take me down. It's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen. If I was to put in that same situation right now, it's going to happen. You'd be like, nah, boy, you got a lot of word in you. You ain't going to fall off. Boy, Solomon was wiser than me and it happened to him. You know what I'm saying? So what you think going to happen to me? You still dust and ashes. You still men of light passions. You know what I'm saying? You don't put your hand on the stove knowing it's going to burn you. You don't get in the lion's den knowing they going to bite you. You don't play Russian roulette with a tech. You know you're going to lose. You can't play with sin and don't think it's going to consume you. You can't do that. Don't lie to yourself like that. Verse 11. I'm in verse 10, my apologies. And he said, I have been very jealous for Yahuwah Elohim of hosts, for the children of Yasharal have forsaken thy covenant, and thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And he said, go forth and stand upon the mount before Yahuwah. And behold, Yahuwah passed by. Great and strong wind rent the mountains and break it in pieces, the rocks before Yahuwah. But Yahuwah was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But Yahuwah was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. But Yahuwah was not in the fire. And after the fire, still a small voice. And it was so, when Elijah heard it, he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entering of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him. And he said, what doest thou here, Elijah? And he said, I've been very jealous for Yahuwah Elohim of hosts, because the children of Yasharal have forsaken thy covenant, and thrown down thine altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword. And I, even I only am left, and they seek my life to take it away. Yahuwah said unto him, go return unto thy way to the wilderness of Damascus. And when thou come, anoint Hazael to be king over Syria. And Jehu, the son of Nimshi, shalt thou anoint to be king over Yasharal. And Elisha, the son of Shaphat of Abimola, shalt thou anoint to be a prophet in thy room. And it shall come to pass, him that escaped the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay. And him that escaped from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay. Yet I have left me 7,000 in Yasharal, all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which have not kissed him. Now you know why that's important, to why he said he left him 7,000 men. See, let's look at something right in Revelation chapter 12 by verse 11. See, it's going to be a set number of men who won't serve this bastard. You understand what I'm telling you? Again, I'm sitting back showing you how some men have been chosen for salvation from the beginning, that there's the light because he know the daughter. He said, I got some men reserved. Everybody ain't did it. Everybody ain't did it. He said they ain't kissed his mouth. Sit back and show you. They pure. They ain't been defiled with this idolatry. Then after that, John 8 and 42. And then Philippians 3 and 17. Still holding Genesis 10 and 5 and 14 and 1. We'll make those quick and y'all will come back on the Shabbat and clean it all the way up. 12 and 10 is 12 and 9 is better. And the great dragon was cast out, or that great serpent was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Hashatan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into their rats, and his malachim were cast out with him. Got to realize something, he coming to deceive. When we look at Eve, that's what he did. He was coming to deceive. When you look at darkness, darkness is a deception. You know what I'm saying? A lie is not of the truth. You got to realize something. Can't no truth come out. Nobody who like out of darkness. Like the master say, good things come out the treasure of those that got a good mind. Those who had a mind of Elohim, they can't do nothing but produce good things. They're not going to produce corrupt things. They're not going to produce things that bring forth sin. He said good trees can't bring forth corrupt fruit, and a corrupt tree can't bring forth good fruit. Either make the tree good and its fruit good, or make the tree corrupt and its fruit corrupt. You can't do both. Ain't no in between. Ain't no in between. We got to understand that and know that and realize that ain't no in between. You either corrupt and your fruit going to be corrupt, or you going to be good and your fruit going to be good. And I heard a voice saying in Shamahim, now is the come salvation and strength in the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his Mashiach. For the accused of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before Elohim day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto the death. That's how Elijah was able to overcome Jezebel and Ahab. He didn't love his life. He didn't love his life. He overcame him by the word of the testimony which he kept. The same way them 7,000 men didn't bow their knee to Baal, nor kissed him in the mouth. They overcame him by the testimony that they kept. They kept the word. They kept the word. They kept the word. So guess what? That's just what that Revelation 3 and 10 say. In the day of temptation, I will keep you back. Get Revelation 3 and 10 since I said it. I thank y'all for the word. And look what he tell you, because you kept. That's what's wrong with black people. Ain't got no patience. We want to run, 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 go, go, go. And when you run, 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 and go, 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 here comes sin, 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 and death, death, death. He says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation that shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon their rest. You sit back and look at, they were being tempted and tried during the time of Jezebel and Ahab. But them 7,000 men, he kept them back from that time of temptation because they kept the word of his patience. No matter what was going on around them. You know what I'm saying? She's slaying the prophets. The people bowing down and worshiping Baal. I'm going to stand firm until y'all vindicate itself. Vindicate his own name. Like we were clowning the other day, right? But at the same time, it was serious. Because we could actually go on the word where Yahuwah is like, when my name is mentioned, put some respect on my name. You know what I'm talking about? That's why he say all those that name themselves after Mashiach, let them depart from iniquity. Because you around here blaspheming and profaning the man's name when you professing his name. You know that man say he would not hold you guiltless, you take his name in vain. You can't be around here professing Yasharah, professing Yahuwah, professing Yahushua HaMashiach, and committing sin. You make the man's name worthless. Therefore, without form and void, meaning it ain't got no shape and it ain't got no power. You know what I'm saying? That man say he gonna come see you about that. See, we don't think about this. That's why I'm sitting here telling y'all. People don't sit back and look at what will be the end of what I'm doing. You know what I'm talking about? You don't consider what the end gonna be. You do stuff and don't consider what the end gonna be because it look good right now. But you're not thinking all the way down the line. If I do this, what's gonna happen? Or if I do this, what's gonna happen? You're not thinking like that. So you steady going, and then when y'all come through it, then you want to cry out to him. And then he don't want to listen. Because when he spake, you didn't hear. And when he cried, you didn't answer. So when you speak, he not going to hear. And when you cry, he ain't going to answer. He just going to give you back the same thing you gave him. You understand what I'm saying? He done warned you about this. John 8 and 42. Remember now, he cursed Satan to go on his belly. Say it's going to be enmity between the woman's seed and the serpent seed. We're not going to get into woman's seed too deep. We're just going to look at the serpent seed. We got to sit back and see what the serpent seed going to manifest. 8 and 42 is good. Yahushua said unto them, if Elohim were your father, you would love me. For I proceed forth and came from Elohim, neither came of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech, even because you cannot hear my word? Ye of your father the devil. You see the difference. You see what now y'all sit back and see something, right? He said they can't hear his word for one reading and one reading alone because they the serpent seed. That's what he said, didn't it? He didn't say they couldn't hear the word for no other reason because your father is the devil. Because he said if Elohim was your father, you would love me. He said I came from him. He said you can't understand my speech. Then we already read that he said those in Revelation, in Daniel 2, that he give knowledge to them that have understanding. That he give wisdom to those that are wise. So that means if he turning around telling these people you can't understand my speech, that means I ain't giving you knowledge to understand my speech, because you in darkness, you not in the light. The light dwell with me. You don't dwell with me. Therefore, you can't understand my speech. You cannot hear my word, because your father's that is scary. You know what I'm saying? When you really get to understanding the word, it's two things gonna go into your head. That's why you say with much knowledge come much grief. See, those that don't have no knowledge and wisdom, they don't understand what that means. You know what I'm talking about? When you understand what the word say and you know what the word say, you're going to get some joy from it, because you can see the mercy, the compassion, the power, and the salvation of Yahuwah Elohim. At the same time, you can also see his wrath, his indignation, his damnation. And that there is saddening when you think about the people upon whose head that's going to fall. Now, you know, little mother, I done told you this before, how I used to just be on the bus or out in the street and just be looking at people going about their daily lives, and they not knowing what's going to happen to them. You know what I'm saying? See, some of y'all might not think like that. Those type of thoughts hit my head, because I know these people don't know. You know what I'm saying? What's coming to them? They don't know. Like they know, but they don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's saddening. That's saddening. What would it when we were talking last week? Troy said he was out there in the street, out there when they was at FAMU blowing that shofar, and that girl heard it and talking about, "Oh Lord, don't come back yet. I ain't ready." My homegirl said there was a thunderstorm about 2-3 years ago. She jumped out of bed and said, "Oh no, he coming back. I ain't ready." You know what I'm saying? So that mean, guess what that mean? Niggas know they sinning. They know they doing wrong. They know they going to hell and don't care. I'ma keep doing what I do. Serpent seed. Serpent seed. When this man tell you there's going to be enmity between the serpent seed and the woman seed, you don't realize that Jezebel hated Elijah, didn't he? See, we're going to go into that to show the mystery of iniquity working. Because you sit back and see this man say he going to kill everybody who don't worship the beast, right? So that means he hate the woman's seed. We didn't read in Revelation 12 where he talking about he going to go after those who keep the commandments of Elohim in the faith of Yahushua. He want to kill them. Because he hate that seed. Just like we hate him. I don't love no sinner. What I love a faggot for? A fornicator, an adulterer, a liar, a whoremonger, a thief, an idolater. What I love them for? What I love them for? You know what I'm saying? They don't love my God, but I'm going to love them and I'm going to cleave to them in love so I can be a sinner like them. That's retarded. That's retarded. John 8:43. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. You of your father the devil, and the lust of your father you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speak a lie, he speak of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. That means it ain't no word in him.
What's in the bathroom like? No, not that one. Leah.
That means there ain't no word in him. That's why they can't hear the word. Because ain't no word. If you are the devil, you can't hear the word because ain't no word in you. Because ain't no word in him. Philippians 3:17. I got to wrap this up. It's almost 9 o'clock. Why you think it was so easy? Why you think Eve was able to follow after? Not saying that Eve was of the devil, but it's showing that similitude of behavior. She went after the serpent because Elohim was not in it. Wasn't no truth in her. The word was not in her. She didn't put those words into her heart and into her mind. We got to put the word in us. It's got to go inside of you. It's got to be in your heart. You got to become one with it. And that can only come from faith. You got to believe it. Once you believe it, then that can happen. If you don't believe it, it'll never happen. He say faith come by hearing and hearing come by the word of Elohim. So if you hear the word and you don't believe it, I don't know what to tell you. Because I can't make nobody believe. And you can't make nobody believe. That's got to be in their own heart. It's got to be in their own mind. I hope to y'all that all men be saved, that all of Yasharal be saved. That would be the most beautiful thing in the world. But we know according to the word, that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. That's not going to happen. That man said it'll be 5 in the household, and he'll set 2 against 3 and 3 against 2. It'll be people you live with go against the word. 3 and 17, brethren, be followers together of me and mark them which walk, so you have for us an example. For many walk, of whom I've told you often, and I tell you even weeping, that they are enemies of the stake of Mashiach, whose end is destruction, who God is their belly, whose esteem is in their shame and mind earthly thing. That's why they're going to take tomorrow. Oh, we're not going to be able to buy and sell. You mind earthly things, so you going to follow that teaching. That's why he was able to get Eve. She mind earthly things. It looked good to the eyes. It looked like it's going to make me wise. It's to be desired. Mind earthly things. Your end is destruction. Those that are Alim, look at the next verse. He say, for our behaviors in Shamahim, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Master, Yahushua HaMashiach. The woman's seed going to look for the things that are eternal. Hold on, y'all. The woman's seed going to look for the things that are the Ruach. That's what she going to look. That's what she going to look for. Satan churn going to look for the things that's of the earth, temporary pleasures. Temporary pleasures. You sit back and look at something, right? I was talking to a brother about this other day. In James chapter 4, right? He said, you have not because you ask not, because you ask amiss. Because when you ask to devour them upon your lusts. So guess what? If you walk in contrary and y'all give you everything you want, everything you desire, do you not realize that's for you to go to hell? Because he said he give the righteous their desires. But if you know you're doing wrong and he give you your desires, you got to sit back and realize, boy, that's for your damnation. He done turned you over. 1 John 3 and 7. I'm sorry. Yeah, hold on. Before we read 1 John 3 and 7, Genesis 10 and 5. I'm at an hour and a half, which ain't that long. But it's 8:50 though. Let's rock this real fast. Knock him out the box, Rick. Out the box, Rick. If I can actually get around there, you know my books is raggedy. I done had them for about 3-4 years. 10 and 5, y'all. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided in their lands, every one after his tongue and after their families and in their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Phut, and Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Seba, Havilah, and Saptah, and Ramah, and Sabdachah, and the sons of Ramah, and Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the Arats. He was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before Yahuwah. Now, this is going to be important in a minute. Now, if you see he's born of Cush, that means Nimrod is a Hamite, or what you would call an African today, because Cush is the name of Ethiopia. You know what I'm saying? That's what the land of what you call Ethiopia now, which before that they called it Abyssinia, was originally called Cush. Well, we look at Nimrod's name, right? Nimrod's name means rebellion. And what did Hashatan lead in Shamahim? Didn't he lead a rebellion? So he led a Nimrod. And what did he lead in the garden? Didn't he lead a rebellion? That means he led a Nimrod. And guess what that means? Rebellion is as what? As witchcraft, right? And then they say the merchants of the earth or the sellers of the earth deceive the inhabitants of the earth by sorceries, which leads us to witchcraft, which leads us to what? Idolatry. And stubbornness is as idolatry. And covetousness is as idolatry. And he just told you, because Satan cursed to go in his belly, right? That means he cursed to go after carnal desires. So guess what? If your God is your belly and you mind earthly things, guess what that make you? An idolater. When he told you to take heed to yourself lest you not be like the nations and be an idolater. So the mystery of iniquity, one of the things that the mystery of iniquity reveals is idolatry. You know what I'm saying? The worshiping of another God. Well, the mystery of Mashiach shows forth the worshiping of the true Elohim. Which one you gonna serve? Which one you gonna worship? Because he say he's a jealous Elohim. He say, Paul said, I'm jealous over you with a godly jealousy. I've espoused you under one husband. He say, I hope not you be beguiled like Eve was and you be moved from the simplicity that's in Mashiach. He said, I hope that wouldn't happen to you. See, sometimes y'all sit back and y'all don't realize is that Lil Muffin done seen it. Like if I gotta love somebody and I see you going out the way, you'll actually see that godly jealousy in me. You know what I'm saying? Protecting you, wanting you to turn back from your idolatry. But after a while, y'all jealousy fades. Y'all's jealousy is not like man's jealousy. That's why Paul say, I'm jealous over you with a godly jealousy. To mean I'm jealous over you, I have no desire. It's going to bring my rage to see you worship another Elohim, to worship another God, another power. A power that is not a power, but the work of men's hands. Because that image the false prophet made, he made an image to the beast, which is the work of a man's hands. Then he made it speak, because he know our laws say that an idol can't speak, nor can it breathe, nor can it talk, nor can it hear. So he had to come and try to give it the appearance of a true God. He know what the book say. That's how he say he gonna get you, because he understand dark sentences. But if you were a friend of Elohim, you wouldn't fear. You'd be upheld by the right hand of his righteousness, and he'll give you strength to endure, so you be able to overcome it by the blood of the Lamb and the testimony which you held. But if you're not a friend, you're not going to do that. So the first character we have for Nimrod, brothers and sisters, is the Noon. And it's spelled, my apologies, it's spelled Nimrod. That is Nimrod. The first character is the Noon, which is the seed. The next character is the Meme, which is chaos. The next character is the Rosh, which is the person. The next character is the Pei, which is the word. And the last character is the Lamad, which is to teach or lead. So we see a seed of chaos of a person who speaks a word to lead. And who is the chaos? Ain't nothing but another word for confusion, right? And we know Elohim is not the author of confusion. So if confusion is being authored, it's being authored by the wicked one. And if you got confusion in your heart, that means you're not a Kadeshim, which means you're not a sanctified one. And if you're not a sanctified one, it's because you don't believe. Because I'm not going to hit this tonight, what me and Troy were discussing last night. But y'all willing, we work it in, because he that sanctified and he that sanctified all are one. And we'll sit back and show that out in the law when it come down to certain things with the payment of the for the sanctuary, for the redemption money. Because this man redeems you with his blood. This man sitting back trying to get you to rebel. That's what, and we don't have to go read, because we've been looking at it. Revelation 13, he coming you to take his mark. You're supposed to know when we looked at the mark of the beast, he's coming to teach. Daniel 11 and 31, with intelligence, with instruction to them that forsake the Kadesh covenant. He's going to teach you to go against the word, which you were already doing. Which you were already doing, because you were serving your own belly, just like your daddy. Genesis 14 and 1. Like I say, we're going to go more in depth with this man tonight. He took me in a little different direction. I'm running long. So we got to stop. 14 and 1. And it came to pass, this is Genesis, in the days of Meramethel, king of Shinar, Arok, king of Elisar, and Keldalamar, king of Elam, entitled the king of the nations. Aramethel name means sayer of darkness. Sayer of darkness. And the characters for his name, and you spell his name apostrophe Amraphel. Apostrophe Amraphel. The first character we have is the Aleph, which will have first dead, or first, or leader, or strength. We'll look at strength. The next character is the Meme, which is chaos. The next character is Rosh, which is head or person. The next character is the Pei, which is the open word or speak. And the last character is the Lamad, which is the teacher or third authority. So we see the strength of chaos, the person who speaks the word of authority. Then we already look at, we didn't finish Hebrews 2 and 15. Let's go look at Hebrews 2 and 15. He sit back and look at it, right? He is the strength of, really the strength of death. The chaos, the person who opens his mouth to teach. We got the Noon, the seed, or Nimrod, the seed of chaos, the person who opens his mouth to teach. Who is the one bringing chaos and death? Hashatan. That's why Nimrod and Ramaphel fit after his framework. That's why the beast fits after his framework. Because we ain't read yet what's going to happen to them that follow the beast, but we finna read it though. Hebrews 2 and 15. He's saying, deliver them who through fear of death were all their lifetime subject to bondage. For he truly, well, let me read verse 14 again. For as much then his children are partakers of flesh and blood, but he also himself likewise took part of the same, that through death he might destroy him that had power of death, that is the devil. Because if he has the authority to teach, that's all Satan is coming is to teach you death. He said, the lust of your father you will do. You know what Galatians 5 say about the works of the flesh. You know what 1 Corinthians chapter 6 say about verse 9 and 10. You know 1 Corinthians 6 and about 11 say meats for the belly, belly for the meats, but Elohim shall destroy it and them. Now the body is made for the master, not for you to be doing what you want to with it. It don't belong to you. That man bought you with his own blood. You don't, but that's not yours. You can't do with your body what you want to with it. That's not yours. So that's why you say meats for the belly. So you want to go upon your belly, going after your desires, eating what you want to eat, doing what you want to do. That's what you want to do. Don't worry about it. I'll destroy it and that. Because the mystery of our iniquity already been working. You already been going after your desires. You already been doing this. So that's why the man said, I got to come and destroy him that got power over death. Because this is what Hashatan came to teach was rebellion. He came with a dark saying, meaning there ain't no light in it. He said, they don't speak according to this word, there ain't no light in them. So when he told that woman in Genesis 3, you won't surely die, dark sayer, and taught rebellion. The mystery of iniquity already been working. Matthew chapter 13 and verse 37. 1 John 3 and 7 after that. Then Revelation chapter 14. We'll stop right there. This is a lot. That's why I say, man, we're gonna walk it down. And it might take us 2 weeks to do it. But that's what's got to be done. That's what's got to be done. 13 and 37, Matthew. Make it 36. Then Yahushua sent the multitude away and went into the house. And the disciples came unto him, saying, declare unto us the parable of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, he that sowed the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world, the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the Malachim. As therefore the tares are gathered and burnt in the fire, so shall it be at the end in the end of this world. So we had to sit back and look at it. That's going right back to what we read in Genesis chapter 3. The serpent seed and the woman seed. Whose seed are you? Who has produced you? Are you the seed of chaos? Or the head of the person who teach? Are you the strength of death? Sit back and look at that. Are you the seed of chaos, the person who speaks a word to teach? Or are you the strength of death, the chaos of the person who opens his word to teach? Meaning you follow after sin. Whose seed do you belong to? 1 John 3 and 7. Oh, I forgot one thing. We'll end in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 9. We'll be reading 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 9. Quite a lot in the process of dealing with this matter. Little children. This is 1 Yachannan 3 and 7. Little children, let no man deceive you. He that do righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous. He that commits sin is of the devil. For the devil sinned from the beginning. For this purpose the Son of Elohim was manifested, that he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of Elohim do not commit sin, for his seed remain in him. He cannot sin because he is born of Elohim. That means that is a continual state of transgression. That's what a sinner is. You continually sin. You sin habitually. In this the children of Elohim are manifest, and the children of the devil. Whosoever do not righteousness is not of Elohim, neither he that love not his brother. And we know who our brother is. That's those that do the will of Elohim. You can't do the will of Elohim and not love your brother. That means you don't love Mashiach. So when this man sit back and say, those that commit sin show Satan is their daddy. Those who stand on the word show Elohim is their daddy. There is no in between. The book say this is manifest. Matthew 13 backed it up. Genesis 3 and 15 backed it up. Romans 8 backs it up. You either of Elohim or you are the devil. Ain't no in between. He said, whoever you lend your member service to obey is to whom you obey, whether sin unto death or obedience unto righteousness. Where you lending your members at? Whose thoughts you following? Who mind you got? You on your belly or you standing upright? Because Elohim stand upright. And his eyes are toward, those that are Elohim stand upright and their eyes are toward Shamahim. Those that are of Hashatan, they on their belly, serving their desires. And y'all gonna give you your desires for your own destruction. Revelation 14. Because see, that's what we looking at. If you can't buy or sell, you going to go after the beast and take his teaching because you worrying about can you eat. I got to make some money. I need food. I need clothes. I'll take his doctrine. That's why he say, forsake not my Torah. I give you good doctrine. That man ain't giving you no good doctrine. That man giving you death. 14 and 8. Revelation 14 and 8. There followed another Malachim saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third Malachim followed, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of Elohim, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the Kadesh Malachim and in the presence of the Lamb. And his smoke of their torment ascend up forever and ever. And they have no rest day or night who worship the beast in his image and whosoever receive the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the Kadeshim. Here are they that keep the commandments of Elohim and the Amunah of Yahusha. And I heard a voice from Shamahim saying unto me, Baruch are the dead, which die in the master from henceforth. Yea, saith the Ruach, that they may rest from their labors and their works do follow them. Don't you better not love you better not love your own life. He that love his life shall lose it. He that loses his life shall save it. What you trying to keep? 2 Thessalonians 2 and 9. And when that wicked shall be revealed, whom the master shall consume with the ruach of his mouth and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Hashatan, with all power, signs, and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not a love for the truth that they might be saved. And for this cause Elohim shall send them a strong delusion that they should believe a lie, that they all might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness. Hallelujah for Yahusha and the word.